The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Gay-laxy has been cited as one of the galaxy's top 10 most misinformed encyclopedias. It is renowned for providing wildly inaccurate information on most aspects of almost everything. The guide merges what is reality with what one appears to see after several rounds of pan-galactic gargle laughters. The guide currently employs 40% of all solicitors in the current universe, regardless of species, due to the copious amounts of lawsuits filed against the guide for breaching practically every copyright and plagiarism law known to human and reptilian life forms alike. The guide has this to say on the subject of gay.
Gay. Gay. There's a G, there's an A, there's a Y. See, gay is part of this marvelous queer umbrella. Gay may refer to the physical, emotional, and sometimes gravitational attraction to another being who identifies the same gender as himself, but who is also the same species as himself. This queer umbrella encompasses many other identities. The most recent being this idea of transphibionism. Transphibian describes a being that breathes air when born, but feels within themselves they should really be breathing underwater. These transphibians have desperately short lifespans, with most autopsies revealing that the number one cause of death among transphibians is indeed asphyxiation. Critics of this identity of transphibianism use the horrible truism. Hey mister, yeah you fish face, you know, if you can't breathe the fucking fishes, you're going to end up sleeping with them. Coincidentally, the inhabitants of the Beta star system use queer-related terminology for completely unrelated meanings. For example, a homosexual is a sort of a juicy fruit that vaguely resembles a pomegranate. However, this has led to catastrophic misunderstandings throughout galactic history, the most recent being the big queer misunderstanding. The event arose when a team of chefs from the Beta star system were hired to cater for the 150th LGBTQ interstellar ball. The evening took a most terrible turn for the worst when head chef Gordon proudly announced that tonight's special is a 6-hour slow-host game, served on a bed of refried lesbian, accompanied with a creamy gender-fluid sauce. Inviting book out with enraged eyes. The game bashed, queers quarreled, the lesbians lamented a transphobe photo-hanic plot. The transphibians were the only parties who remained calm. Primarily because now they limp on the floor, motionless, with their heads submersed in the complimentary jugs of water. Because of these sort of queer fiascos, it cannot be stressed enough how vitally important it is that cookbooks from the Beta star system, such as Allies in the Oven and Cook Queer, are thoroughly translated to avoid these reckless, accidental acts of cannibalism. The queer community has also become increasingly studied because some scientists are beginning to consider them the best kept secret in the field of renewable energy. The Cosmic Transport Firm Limited and associated scientists have unveiled the prototype for a vehicle called a Pride Powder that can run on a 50-50 mix of ethanol and gender fluid. However, this vehicle has shown extensive difficulty in driving in a straight line. On the first prototype, the vehicle circled around about ecstatically before reaching the most unfortunate end with oncoming traffic. The use of gender fuel has been met with strong resistance by many galactic delegations, uniting underneath the slogan, "We are the queer community, not the queer commodity." However, Spoke Cyborg McKeon 2.0 has conflicting view, and earlier this week released a statement saying, "It's encouraging the queers to now third most sought after commodity behind coffee and burritos. But we're hoping in the coming years we can improve our standing, you know? Like I for one am eager to have my foods available for purchase." The ancient historians tend to have a general reservation against the queer community. They've hypothesized that the glamour of some LGBTQ persons in the past has led to the destruction of the greatest barbarian civilization that ever existed. The legend goes that the proud king Escrima of the Ha nation, a great vital leader, was deceived by his most flamboyant advisors into glamorizing his armies rather than actually training them. The battle axe was swapped for the naked bush, thick boots replaced by Gucci heels. But no one could have foreseen the terrible naked allergies that began to plague the king's legions. And as his ranks broke out in vicious boils, sores and cysts, the only solution was to apply even more cosmetics. This led to his forces rapidly dwindling because they catch such diseases as mascarongitis, and many died from lethal beautification. The amphibians were the only soldiers to survive this catastrophe. As galactic glamour's waterproof makeup range, well, it proved not to be so waterproof after all. Time magazine considered the event the most glamorous genocide in human history, and also many linguists hypothesized that the popular phrase, "get the London look," stemmed from this atrocity and was originally used to describe someone that looked very near death. Symptoms of his London look include a slight swaying dizziness and also some feverishness. Slurring of speech makes it very hard for people to understand why you're saying. As a weakness in the knees shortly follows, until finally you.
The guide accepts that some of the information it contains can be uncanny and as hard to swallow as a bowl full of pistachios with the shell intact. It is important to note that the guide is definite. Reality, however, is frequently inaccurate.